Yeah, so normally we hear people talk about this that someone sold their soul, or this musician or that actor, this person sold their soul, and all that. But today, somebody asked the question and says, so what happens to those who sell their souls? What about their afterlife? How would you answer this? Because if you believe people can sell their soul, then what happens to them after life? The other time, I was discussing this with a pastor, and he was telling me that witches can actually consume people's souls, and people's souls can be bought, and people's souls can be used by other people. But today, I want to state it clearly that it is never possible. Nobody can sell their soul. It is not possible. You cannot sell your soul. First of all, the soul doesn't even belong to you. You did not create it. Neither did anybody anywhere aside the one and only Supreme Being. Aside that being, nobody anywhere can create a soul or do anything with anybody's soul. You cannot sell your soul. Because just imagine, if I sell my soul to you, what would you use it for? Huh? If I should sell my soul to you right now, what would you use it for? Nothing. Nothing. Okay? So I asked this question, that you believe that in the end we shall be judged, right? Yes. When we die, when we leave our body, in the end we are going to be judged by the Supreme Being. And it is the soul, according to every book that is out there, it is the soul that is going into judgment, right? The soul that is going to be judged. So I asked this question: if the soul can be eaten or be destroyed or can be bought so it can be owned by another person, then I want to ask, if my soul, assuming my soul has been eaten by witches, am I going to be judged? And what is the Supreme Being going to judge, since that soul has already been eaten? Since that soul belongs to somebody else, probably the person has used it for something else already. Where is the Supreme Being going to get that soul to judge? That means I will escape judgment. So do you want to tell me that all those that we believe that witches and wizards, or these demons and entities we normally accord into destroying people's souls and buying people's souls and all that, after getting all those souls to themselves, how does the Supreme Being get those souls back to judge? This is the question I want to ask. If anybody can answer me, if anybody can give me the answer. Because the truth is, you cannot sell your soul. Nobody can buy your soul. What happens is, there is another part of us, okay? There is another entity which is part of us that we are not really thought about. I don't know, for whatever reason, they don't want us to know much about this entity. But this entity is the most, I would say, the most very important entity, okay, that is part of the human system, and that is our subtle self, our mind. That is what can be bought. That is where we keep all our informations. So the footballer knows how to play, but that information is not stored in his soul. The musician knows how to play very good instruments, knows how to sing very well. That information is not in his soul, but rather in his mind. So if somebody wants to control you, I always say that, I have this quote, I always say that if you want to control the reality of another person, first control their mind. If anybody wants to control your reality, that person needs to control your mind. Because if anybody can control your mind, that person can tell you or make you do anything they want. So if there is an organization or an institution that wants you to do something for them, or wants you to behave in a certain way, then they don't really need your soul. What they need is your mind. So as time goes on, we'll be going deeper into this. we will try to know what is the subtle self and what it is the soul and what is the body, because we consist of these three elements. You know, we were created, okay, by this supreme being with only two components, only two things: the physical self, which is the gross self, and the spiritual self, which is the soul. Okay, we were given the physical self, which is this, the body, and we were given a spiritual self, which is the soul. But one way or the other, we were able to access the astral plane, and that is when we had what we call the mind. We were not created with our minds. That is why when we come onto this planet, we come without a mind. Okay, we develop it here. The mind is developed here, and that is where we keep all our informations. So if you see me with my body and my soul and without a mind, trust me, there is nothing I can do. Okay, people, that's why we say people who've lost their minds, they behave awkward, you know, they behave out of line. They can see fire, they'll put their hand in the fire. Why so? Why wouldn't you put your hand in the fire, but they will put their hand in the fire? Because you have history, you have records of what fire does to your body when you put your hand in there, kept in your mind, not in your soul. So if anybody wants to steal that information from you so you can put your hand in the fire, the person will not come for your soul, but rather will come for your mind. So as I said, on this episode, we will try to get deeper understanding about this particular entity, because I always say that if you live well here and live well after, it is based on your mind. The soul has nothing. The soul doesn't have any problem. See, the soul is from the supreme being, and with the supreme being there is no devoid, there is no mistake, there is nothing wrong in the supreme being. So the soul inside of you is also very clean. Okay, everybody's soul is very clean, but what can be dirty and also be clean is the mind. So one can have a very dirty mind. Okay, one can have a very dirty mind doing a very grossy, you know, things out there. People can have good minds also, clean minds, doing very good things out there. It all depends on the mind. Your actions right now depends on your mind. So to answer this question, I'll tell you that your soul will go to the afterlife, will go to the supreme being, but your mind has a place it goes. And let me tell you, it's what we call the Akashic records. That is where all our history, all our past, everything about us is kept. Okay, that is where everything about us is kept. So if someone wants your talent, your gift, or anything that you were able to do, anything that you were able to come up with, the person doesn't need your soul to get that. That person needs your mind. So to the question, said people who sell their souls, what about their afterlife? They will go to the afterlife because they didn't really sell their soul. What they sell out there is their minds. So you realize that they'll be doing things that people who are accused of selling their soul, actually after some time you see they'll be misbehaving out there. No matter what, even if they are popular people, even if they are stars, you realize that they begin to do some things that are actually out of place. Okay, they will be in a lot of trouble out there, not because they sold their soul, but they actually sold their mind. So their mind is being controlled by some other people or by some other entities. And by that, I told you, if you allow somebody to control your mind, the person gets the access to control your reality. So things that probably you wouldn't do with your right mind, now because someone is controlling that mind, You can do that just by giving that person the opportunity to control your mind. So the truth is, we've been told that people sell their souls, but I want to let you know that it is not possible to sell your soul. What people sell out there is the mind. Let me end with this quote. We have an organization we all know around, which is the Illuminati, and this is the organization that we normally hear that people talk about, that people sell their souls to this organization. I want to tell you the truth that it is not true. You cannot sell your soul to the Illuminati. No, they don't buy souls, because there is nothing they will use your soul for. Even if you sell your soul, even if you don't sell, even if you give it to them for free, there is nothing they are going to do with your soul. What they are interested in is your mind, because how that man was able to manufacture that chair. Everybody is manufacturing chairs, but yours is very different and very nice, very beautiful. That information is not in your soul, it's in your mind. That young man that can make good music, that information is not in his soul, it's in his mind. So when you listen to their motto or something like that, you hear that Illuminati mind control, never Illuminati soul control. They are not interested in your soul, they are interested in your mind. And not only them, also we have lots of organizations that are actually interested in your mind. In fact, there are organizations that are interested in the minds of a whole city, nation, or a country. Because if a country has resources and another country wants it, all they need to do is to fill their minds with information about those resources being bad, so they can come for them. That was just by the way. So I'll end by saying that yes, people who claim to sell their souls, trust me, you will go to the afterlife. You will be judged by the Supreme Being, because you didn't actually sold your soul. What you actually sold was your mind. And whatever you did, whether good or bad, you are definitely going to account for. You are going to account for whatever you did, because that information is stored in your mind, and it is going to be in the Akashic records. One of these days, on this same episode, we are going to talk about the Akashic records and how it is created and what actually it is. But for now, I'd say you cannot sell your soul. Thank you for watching this video. See you another time. Namaste.